Twitch, Twitch, which one?
So
I'm getting recommended a lot of yoga channels on Twitch.
oh yeah.
Really?
I think it knows what I am.
It
And
seems
what
like
are
it's
you?
working.
A guy who watches yoga channels.
Just like passively on the couch with a bag of chips
Of
and a
course.
beer, yeah.
You know,
Just impressed by what other people can do.
right.
Gives you a good sense of satisfaction.
So is the sound working?
Through Twitch.
It worked for me, I think, but I couldn't
Yeah.
hear myself. Yep. Matt's nodding.
Yeah, we're good.
Excellent. That's so good.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay,
We're all good.
great. So one of the first things that I noted about vehicle when I played it that I thought was interesting was that instead of telling you how to play the game, it just has like you know like WSD right here,
Hmm.
and then the left mouse button right here to tell you to shoot. Right, you can hear the sound, right?
No, I don't have sound from the game.
Yeah, I don't have game audio either.
Oh no. Oh, I wonder if that's my fault.
Almost certainly.
Yeah, if it's not
Oh,
coming through
that's
on Discord. Well, I mean, we can take this time while Dylan troubleshoots to
yeah.
introduce ourselves. Hello, welcome to the Neophyte Studios weekly stream. We are running jankily as always into the future, into the sky. I am Matthew Gordon. With me, I have Professor of Fiction, Pinckney Benedict, and my fellow graduate student in fiction, Dylan Davis,
Yo.
who is working his butt off to make this a game stream instead of just floating talking heads.
Us talking, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And so this is week 2 of the winners of our game jam,
Yep.
our narrative game jam. Still no sound of gunfire. And I really like the recoil on that thing. Like that's
Yeah.
for being a low res game.
Yeah.
That's a really nice shooting mechanic.
Yeah,
That's
right.
very persuasive and makes me want to shoot.
Yeah, there's a couple of little things that he did that I thought were really cool about like how he was holding the gun and stuff.
Well, so
Hmm.
is that the Kill Bill Bruce Lee
I I kind of think so,
costume?
yeah.
Because it kind of, yeah, might be.
I don't know how to get sound, sorry. I have no
Well,
idea.
just describe the sound to us, or
It's
make the
Please.
sound
actually
come out.
yeah. Uh, it's actually a surprisingly chunky gun sound effect. Like
Yeah.
it has a little bit of bass to it, you
Yeah,
know? Like
good,
yeah.
good.
Um
I love how esoteric the 3 out of 3 is. It really reminds me of like a janky like NES game for the health.
yeah,
The
right.
whole thing looks so
3 out of 3. Yeah,
low-res.
that looks like games I would have played on the Intellivision.
Right,
Right.
right. And like
Yeah,
the
it does.
character models kind of do too, where they're like elongated sticks, but then you see
Yeah, I
like
mean
the
that guy
movement.
is
Mhm.
really skinny, long.
And his walking is kind of shuffly. So, but
Yeah.
this is a narrative game jam. We all know it's absolutely beautiful, cutting edge graphics. But let's talk about the narrative.
So I think the narrative is implied.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you think? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's implied in this one. I don't think there's much in the way of a box standard narrative,
Mm-hmm.
but
So it's kind of a cool shooter,
yeah,
like a cool 8-bit shooter. Oh, look,
right.
Vicky's in a pool of blood.
I like how
Yeah,
pink the blood
That's
is.
good.
good hell. Okay, sorry, I crashed. Because it's so loud. It's so loud.
That's so funny. It's so loud for you and
We're just
completely
taking your
silent.
word for it.
Yeah, I. Oh, okay, okay, good. Whew. We're
Look,
good.
I'm not an IT specialist either, but maybe if you didn't have like 20 programs opening either.
Yeah, right. It could help, but then
So
I.
okay, so yeah, there are things that blow up. He's walking. What is? Can we even tell where he is? Like, is he? He looks like he's on at a wharf or something. Is
Yeah.
that a pier?
Yeah, I think. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I think this might be carpet or lava. Um,
Mm-hmm.
If you
okay,
step on it, you don't die, so it must be carpet.
yeah, it's
That's how we
carpet.
tell the difference between carpet and lava.
Yeah, there really is no other difference.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's whenever I walk into a new room, I go, is this carpet or is this lava? And then I put my foot on
Right.
it and
Yeah,
right
exactly.
again.
Mm-hmm.
I spent a lot of time on that. Luckily,
Truly
it's
a man
always
of
carpet so
science.
far.
And
And
this is
so
pretty cool.
these guys are dressed. They're sort of Devo looking.
Yeah, kind of Bandito Zorro type.
Okay, look, I'm just gonna say it fits with the Kill Bill theme again. They look like the Crazy 88.
Oh, yeah. I mean, no, that's right. So then, but I would love it if this were a Kill Bill themed game.
Right.
That would make me so happy. And you're right, they do look like the Crazy 88.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's
Yeah.
no way they should be fighting with guns
This is accurate.
It's
if that's what this is homage to.
this game is so
So
loud.
what did this win?
What's this one didn't win anything.
Oh, okay. So we're just playing the entries. Okay. I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
know if we were just playing the stuff that had won things. Okay. I mean, I couldn't make anything 1/10 as good as this. So
Damn straight.
I bow down to it. I am impressed by it. It looks fun to play, but as you say, the narrative is implied.
Yeah.
In the history of action games, that
Right.
if you have a gun, you must be in a shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, you got to be
There-
shooting.
Yeah, it's a lot of fate involved.
Was there
Yeah,
more
right.
description to it? Because I would like to see that.
I mean, it's shoot 'em up action adventure. We could
Yeah.
probably go in here and
Just
take
to give it a check, just to give it the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah,
the
let's see
credit.
if there's a backstory. Like, I'd love to find out that there's a backstory. And it's called Vehicle. Do you eventually run into a vehicle,
I would hope so.
or is he just a vehicle of doom?
Yeah, it might be a vehicle of doom. The problem is the game is so damn hard that I was I
Right. Well, see, I would never get out of that first room. So
right.
what you're doing is
Can you get to the game page to see if there's the description there?
Oh, is this not? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We gotta go to the. That's right.
No, just a shoot 'em up
30
action
minutes.
adventure.
Eagles, the shoot 'em up action adventure. Yeah.
Full gameplay. So maybe we can skip ahead a little bit.
Yeah, let's watch a little gameplay and jump toward where there might be a vehicle.
Yeah, because I kept wondering maybe the story would come in later, like you could
Mm.
actually get to somebody who was talking, but I couldn't kill the first banditos, so I struggled mightily. And also I can do this.
See, I'm still not getting sound on yours. Even turned up, turned down.
Yeah, I must just not be sharing sound. I mean, it's okay. This is probably the only game that really used sound.
Mm-hmm.
So jump to like the
Oh, yeah.
15-minute mark and let's see.
Yeah,
Now he's tiny.
yeah. Now he's in a real tiny room,
Mm-hmm.
or no, he's really tiny in a huge room. I mean, okay, let's jump ahead a little bit more. Now he's on this. Walking. He doesn't have a gun anymore.
He doesn't.
We missed something crucial.
We lost his gun.
This sounds like a good opportunity to talk about objective correlative.
Oh,
Yeah, right. No, I think that's exactly right. So why do you say that, Matt? I love to hear my students be smart.
Right. I mean, let's distill an action shooter down, and bridge that with objective correlative, which is kind of like the exteriorization. I may have just made that word up, of like a character's will into a tool. Often a weapon will be symbolic of that character, right? You've got every single character's tools in Lord of the Rings. You've got like Doom Guy's gun. You've got what's another good one?
Oh, I mean, there's
A lightsaber, like just like in broad strokes. But like I'm trying to
Every
think of a
single weapon
game
that you
character
get
with
in
like an
that.
iconic weapon.
Oh, I would say, as far as game characters go, I
Yeah.
would definitely say like The Witcher. I think The
Yeah.
Witcher,
The two
uh,
swords, one for fighting monsters, one for fighting men.
yeah, right. The silver sword for fighting monsters and the steel
Hmm.
for humans, and he always carries both, right?
I'm
Like
just
that's
kind of looking around my room to come up with ideas, and I see a
well. So
Keyblade
I
from
mean, the
Kingdom
idea of
Hearts.
the I think the best example of this is
Mm-hmm.
McCarthy's is oh my god, I just blanked on it. Blood Meridian.
Mm-hmm.
The Blood Meridian.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think Blood Meridian as a book is the best example because the way that McCarthy describes the guns describe the person, right?
Describes
Yeah.
characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the kid at first carries that, ridiculous gun that could never kill anybody intentionally, but that might well kill, a friend or ally. It's ridiculous, but it's also incredibly, you can't count on it. It's dangerous. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's a, um, no, I mean, and, weapons throughout
Hmm.
history and just objects, right? I mean,
Yeah.
which are sometimes weapons and sometimes not.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The staff of Moses, for instance, or
Right. Right.
Natty Bumppo's gun in the Deer Slayer, right?
Right.
Which is exactly as tall as he is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
the Kentucky Long Rifle. Yeah, I mean, it's just such a quick and beautiful way. I once gave my talk about weapon as character, objective correlative at DePauw University,
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
which DePauw, DPAUW, like get over yourself. It's an
Right.
L. Uh, like somebody screwed up at Ellis Island, and you've just carried that on.
Right.
But I did not realize what a uh, sort of doctrinally liberal school DePaul was until
Yeah.
later. And his assistant professor. I mean, this was just me learning about like how things work now. This assistant professor came up to me and said, "Well, very indignant." She was like, "That was a very macho lecture," and I, not understanding that I was being insulted, said, "Well, I'm kind of a macho guy." I mean, and I just could not have put myself further out of the realm of humanity
Right.
for for this young woman.
Right. Right. You're just laughing. You're like,
Yeah, you
huh?
just want to be like, well, don't worry, I'll be dead soon enough. Like, you're younger than I am. You'll have time in the world after I'm gone.
I just don't know why that bothers anybody. I mean, to say
All
that
right.
Cormac McCarthy didn't intentionally do that is
Mm.
nuts. Like,
Well, but see, yeah, but I mean, I'm
yeah,
not gonna go there. But
doesn't matter. The point is,
but it's clearly right. It's a clearly really powerful, theme, or whatever you want to call it. So
yeah.
it's a strategy in literature to define character.
I
And
mean, it's
so
like,
if your character has a gun, your character sort of is that gun, is going to use that gun,
Especially when
so
there's a
on and so forth.
lack of story. So like games, again going back like to the original Doom, right? You are aggressive, you are powering through things, you're just given a gun and told to go. This kind of like follows
Right. I
that
mean, in
same.
effect, you are a gun, right?
Yeah.
You're just a
Yeah.
mounting. You're just like a mounting for a weapon.
right,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There is no you unless there is the weapon.
right. Well, and one of the things I found really interesting going on the Doom subject is
Mm-hmm.
game developers more often think in objective correlative than I think they even realize. So, like,
Oh,
Yep.
everybody does. I mean, they
yeah.
just yeah. But I'm not surprised. So, but what way do you? How do you mean that? What do
So
you?
the example that was used was they were talking about how they wanted Doom to feel, and
Mm-hmm.
originally what they had designed was the monsters would I think it was charged toward you
Okay.
in the fight, right? So they would charge toward you and you'd fight them. And then when they were playing it, they were like, well, this doesn't feel right because now the Doom guy feels like he is being attacked. But the
Mm-hmm.
Doom guy is not being attacked. Doom guy
Right.
is the attacker.
Yeah.
Right.
So they set it up so that the demons run away from you because they wanted the whole experience to feel like you were hunting down people, right? You were
Yeah.
hunting down demons. And to me that was like this is objective correlative. Like
No, that's exactly right. No, that's a beautiful description of how everything is narrative.
Yeah.
right.
Right? That if you have action, you have narrative. If you have a character, you have narrative,
Yeah.
and the narrative feels a certain way. And I like the way this narrative feels. Like I wish I could hear the music. Or is there music?
No, there's no music. It's just shooting. It's just
Okay,
waiting for
well, I
options.
mean, but it's a game I would play. I'd have played the shit out of it when I was 13.
Yeah.
Right, right.
On the Intellivision, I've gone berserk for that.
Yeah, well,
My parents got me this off-brand Intellivision, but it actually turned out to be this great uh, game system. It was
right.
really way too advanced for its time. Like its control scheme, the Intellivision was so far beyond the joystick and button of the Atari because it was a number pad
Yeah.
and a circle.
Yeah, well, and I think that what this does is it goes to show how close, like, okay, so this guy he set up a game, he set up areas that you either pass through or not pass through. You can shoot barrels, you can shoot people, right? And this game is so close. Like if he just was aware of the fact what objective correlatives are, then he can use them and
Right.
manipulate them to tell the story better,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but I mean, he's already like I mean, like the guys with the in the crazy '88 outfits and
Right. Yeah.
and that kind of thing. I'm persuaded by Matt's insistence that is
And Kill
intentional.
Bill. Yeah. Sure. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that is not actually a dude. That is Uma Thurman.
Mm.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And when I was young, I really loved that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, I think keeping objective correlative in mind is pretty important as we go on too, because there's a lot of really cool stuff. But anyway, so we're gonna do this one next. This is called A.M.I.1.1, or I don't know, AME10.
Yeah,
Um,
As this gets
so
booting up, I just want to say
ADHW.
one thing about games and objective correlative that sprung to mind is I can't tell you like how many interviews or conversations with game developers I've had that come down to games being designed around a verb, right? That's like a
right,
prominent piece of like thought in the industry that like you're either running, you're jumping, you're shooting. Like game design, as far as the action, not the narrative concern, is around objective correlative itself, right? When you
yeah,
take the action and find what object is doing the action, like
right.
Right.
it's
Yeah. Exactly.
so like at the heart of what games are.
Yeah, I mean, to take it back to the Doom example, like I think that this is something that games, if game developers were aware of the fact that they could take advantage of this ancient narrative technique called objective correlatives, it would
Yeah.
be crazy because they already are doing it, just they don't realize it, right?
Right, right. They're
Yeah.
not doing they're doing it, but it kind of works by accident right
Yeah,
now. Whereas with a trained storyteller, you can make these things work on purpose.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
But like,
and they really do. Like the thing I love about knowing all these narrative mechanics
yeah,
is even people who know them can't resist them. It's not like you can read Cormac McCarthy and go, "Oh well, that pair of Colts Dragoon pistols, that Captain White owns are just it's an objective
yeah,
derivative. Like it still works.
right.
You
It
know,
still works, yeah, and it always will.
the
But the thing,
Nagaresis will always work. Like
always,
it's really cool.
but the thing
You
that's cool about it,
you catastrophe will always work.
yeah. hmm and the thing that I think is really cool about it too is so like what I was describing as the objective correlative is how they designed the AI in the
Mm.
game, right? Like
Right. Yeah.
writers don't get to describe the AI. Like, okay, so we're going to make an artificial intelligence our objective
Mhm,
correlative.
mhm.
That's not an option to me.
Yeah, but well, wait until we get GPT-3
True, true.
hooked up through Grantica.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Dude, can you imagine a contemporary, like a newly built, purpose-built fiction writer's word processor that was hooked into GPT-3? And
heck
not
yeah.
at an AI dungeon level, right? But at a really basic, like granular level
Mm-hmm.
Right,
where you
right.
did, holy shit,
I
man.
know it's
And
unbelievable.
imagine writing a Twine story, right? A choose your own adventure story where what you're doing is writing and lining up the AI,
Yeah.
right? You know what I mean?
hmm
And limiting what the AI can respond, but not too much. And
Right,
like,
right.
I could do that. I could do that all day, every day.
All day, no
Mm-hmm.
problem.
And it's
Okay.
going to happen, man.
Oh,
It's
it
going
will.
to happen. Like the partnerships we're making here are out of this world.
Yeah,
Okay, well, this looks really great. I love this already.
yeah. Amy, it's pretty fun.
I hope
I
this.
enjoyed this. What's up?
I said I hope that's not Amy
Yeah.
because Amy's not living up to my standards of pulchritude. The
um,
reason
so
subliminal games. Okay, good. This already has a story, right? I mean,
right,
this is the manuscript within the manuscript.
right, right.
Yeah, this is like Moby Dick, where it says, "This is a manuscript I found in a chest,
Hmm.
down at the counting house." Right? I mean, the story itself has a story. That's sweet.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's part of a project spanning more than 8 years. Primary focus: human decision making for purposes of furthering the art of narrative game design.
Okay,
Mhm.
great. It's a really smart meta move.
Yeah,
I'm impressed.
yeah. What you're about to read, if you choose to proceed, is a fictional narrative. It was contrived purely for the exercise and has no other intended relevance at its time of conception. Afterwards, you will be asked one question that will allow you to express your convictions about the text.
Okay.
The exercise is meant to be enjoyable and engaging as it is. Yeah, okay. So it kind of explains how it works.
Right, 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 right.
Um, so commence.
I really like the art style.
Yeah, it's cool.
I mean, so essentially we're in the world of visual novel.
Yeah, this is definitely a visual novel,
Yeah, good.
but it's short. It's really short.
No, no, no. Short is so good. Like
Yeah.
I've actually realized, like the texts, ancient texts, I really
Uh
like Xenophon's and Abysses.
huh.
Mhm.
It's just a fucking television series.
Uh-huh.
It's just Star Trek,
That's
right?
so
It's just
cool.
these noble Hellion warriors that you really like, but they
Yeah.
squabble among themselves and they're weird, and some of them have too much ego and some of them are dumb, and they
Right.
just go from place to place, and every week they have a new adventure with a different weird foreign people.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
that's
holy
TV
shit,
writing.
they made a great TV show.
And the
And you
like
just realize like,
original
oh Lord, like
speakers
they
of those,
all work like that. The Bible
yeah.
works like that. It's all episodic.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and the ancient like
Anyway,
speakers, authors of those stories, right? It was financially motivated, same as it is now. They would wander from town to town, have to come up with a new chapter to entertain the people and pass on the stories. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
nothing has changed.
King Arthur, same thing. And
Yeah.
in King Arthur, there are reboots, right? There are
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
sequels, there are prequels, there are,
Yeah.
I mean, it's hilarious. Like we always think of television as this thing we sort of discovered in the 50s. It's like, no, episodic television is what storytelling has always been.
Right. Yeah.
That's what the project I'm working on now, the Rise and Slaughter project, is totally episodic. It's
Mm-hmm.
just
Right.
like 10-minute episode,
Mm-hmm.
and it's
Yeah.
so much fun. It's so much fun to write. Anyway, sorry, I know we're talking about Amy. I love
Okay.
it so far.
Um. So this is kind of going in the back, like
But
through
in
the
a
background.
complex, okay,
Yeah.
yeah. I like
Um.
the idea that they're the most dangerous and effective criminals.
Yeah.
We're not worried about ineffective criminals here.
Right. Effective ones though. The victims are segregated from other inmates and handled only with the most stringent precautions in prison staff. Be that as it may, new cases of infection are identified every week, some of which are discovered even within the prison, presumably having originated therein, most probably from accidental contact with the quarantine patients. As the prison complex becomes more and more crowded and prone to oversight, the necessity for population control becomes an issue. Care and control of the quarantine populace has been granted to the Surgeon General and the prison warden.
Okay.
The Surgeon General has vowed publicly to keep all sufferers of the disease alive at least during the first 2 months of infection, during which time symptoms are relatively mild and mostly painless. His expressed hope is that many of them will survive long enough to receive a vaccine once it is developed by the Surgeon General's research and development team. In the third month of infection, however, a patient's life leaves the jurisdiction of the Surgeon General and falls into the hands of the warden, who may at any time thereafter choose to have the patient euthanized. In fact, he is legally obligated to do so before the patient is killed by the disease, which manifests in extremely painful symptoms within the last week prior to killing the victim.
Well, if he's gonna kill him in the electric chair, like oh, okay. I mean, it's not humane. That's all I'm saying.
Having learned about this arrangement, a young radical who has contracted the disease seeks to preserve his own life and the lives of his fellows by plotting a prison break. Conspiring with members of gangs within the prison, he has begun to hatch a subtle scheme to take several uninfected inmates and prison staff hostage, bargaining their health in exchange for the freedom of himself and his accomplices. Meanwhile, a married man has just entered into his third month.
That's what married men look like.
Yep, they go. One sec, I gotta turn it down a little more. Oh, his wife is dating the warden. That's what that paragraph said.
His
Or
wife is
no,
dating the warden
no, his wife is being held by the warden and being forced to date him.
to date him. Okay.
Yeah, right. The warden, a lonely man, agrees to keep the married man alive just so long as the wife becomes and remains the warden's mistress throughout the month, visiting him nightly in his sleeping quarters. The wife consents to this only to save her husband's life.
What a
The
fucking
warden's
lunatic.
secretary the warden's secretary is the only third party to know about this scandalous affair.
Wow, this is really getting. This is like a soap opera.
Yeah, right. She also recognizes that according to the laws for emergency situations, this arrangement is not technically illegal, though it might be deemed coercive in other societies. Yeah, okay. Be that as it may, the secretary feels repulsed by her employer's actions, though she does not dare to confront him directly. Nor does she wish to appeal to the government on the wife's behalf, in part because the appeals process is prolonged. The warden might easily have the married man executed and all evidence of the affair expunged. Considering herself unqualified to judge the matter by any objective, nonpartisan standard, the secretary elects to simply confide in the married man. She meets with him in secret. That was a long way of saying she decides to tell him.
Right.
Tell
Well,
him
there's a
all.
lot of circumlocution here. This would have been. It would be easy to make the language as simple as the
Yeah,
graphics are, because I love the sort of graphic quality.
yeah,
The characters are icons,
right.
uh, that kind of thing. And I just wish the language would just cop to that.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
like,
exactly.
this is pretty simple. Like, there's no need for, you get what I'm telling you. Okay, great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The married man, pissed, vows to escape the imprisoning, and liberate his wife. He's willing to risk his life. Um, allying himself with the radical, or allying himself. He agrees to aid in the prison break, whose scheduled deadline is pushed forward to the following night. Yet, on the night of the uprising, the married man discovers through the secretary that his wife has already made her way into the warden's chamber. Desperate to prevent her capture, the married man rushes into the chamber. I kind of wish if we'd had some extra text to have here, like I'd like to know how he got there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
like
in
it's a prison,
prison.
right?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the warden apprehends the radical. Hoping to squash morale among the rioting inmates, he sends the radical into the bedchamber with a mission: kill the married man, or you will yourself be executed for criminal conspiracy. The radical enters the bedchamber. The married man and his
Boy,
wife
this
now
could
read
get very weird very fast.
falsely welcome the radical as their ally. The radical, however, following the warden's instructions, gets a combination and withdraws a loaded pistol. He then proceeds to shoot the married man to death, spending the remaining bullets on the wife just to be safe. I don't know why that's to be safe, but whatever.
Yeah, wow. I would
Um,
think the board might be pissed, but
yeah, right.
And he
When the warden,
is.
he is. He
Yeah.
condemns the radical to death.
okay. Well, so I'm the warden. We find out. I can predict the warden 100%.
Yep. His secretary pleads for the radical's life, confessing to her own involvement. As punishment, she is arrested and sent to another facility. The radical is killed by lethal injection. The warden presides as the Surgeon General administers the fatal dosage. As the radical dies and the married man and wife are buried, the Surgeon General seeks to assuage the warden's grief by bringing good news. A cure has been found. Yet the warden, enraged, asks why this news has come so late. The Surgeon General then confesses that it was, in fact, 2 weeks ago that his team discovered a cure. Yet the Surgeon General, who had no obligation to save his own world, was within his legal rights to withhold the vaccine just long enough so as to complete the experiments upon the inpatients. As it turns out, the Surgeon General's own wife was grievously ill, and it was only by conducting human experiments that he could hope to cure her, as any husband could, or would, because I don't know. Once his test subjects no longer needed treatment, his secret research would be squandered and his wife doomed, perhaps forever. I mean, doomed typically means like a forever, but
Yeah.
upon hearing all of this, the warden beats the surgeon over the head, wrests the lethal injection needle, which is still potent, from his hands, fatally injects the surgeon, and then proceeds to hang himself in his own bedchamber.
Wow.
The secretary never receives the
The last
vaccine.
act of Hamlet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
After 3 long months and 1 excruciating week, dies in the other prison. The secretary. The government only learns of the vaccine 2 months later. You are death, and you have collected the souls of the 6 deceased. The warden, the married man, the wife, the Surgeon General, the secretary, and the radical. In order to secure the best deal for yourself, you must estimate each soul's relative weight to the other souls.
Here's
In order to do this,
gameplay.
yeah, this is it.
Okay.
Rank the 6 characters from least guilty to most guilty with regards to the question, by whose fault did they die?
Okay, wait, by whose
Yeah, I'm
fault
not
did
sure I
they die?
understand
How
that.
is someone more or less guilty of by whose fault did they die?
Yeah.
Who basically whose actions caused the most death?
Okay.
Got it.
Okay.
Got it.
Because like the warden did stuff, but he was only doing stuff because the surgeon general was withholding the
Right.
funds
It's
he
sort
had
of.
to
I mean,
carry.
yeah. I guess it depends. Kind of the secretary.
Oh, you think
Uh,
the secretary?
well, right. Yeah. I mean, like if she hadn't blabbed, I mean,
Oh
she
yeah,
getting into everybody else's shit, right?
Yeah, the number
right.
one slot is either the secretary or the surgeon general.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so we'll go with the secretary.
To surgeon general, then, without a doubt.
Okay, surgeon general.
Then I would say either the warden or the radical.
You'd think it'd have to
Hmm.
be. Well, okay, so did if the radical hadn't done the uprising, would the warden have captured him to force him to kill the two people?
Yeah.
Right,
No,
that's the
that's right. So the
sequence.
warden radical.
Okay,
Uh,
Yeah.
but if the yeah, I don't know.
No, because the radical. The warden was lethally injecting people who were already going to die. He was just holding the wife hostage for shits.
Yeah.
But the radical was inspired by the secretary, which had nothing to do with the warden.
Well, I mean, wasn't the radical trying to do it because he found out that after a
Right.
couple of weeks, the
Yeah.
after a couple of weeks, the warden got to kill people that the surgeon couldn't save. So he found out he was sick, but his is still at fault because, or the surgeon general is still at fault for that because he had the cure
Yeah, very
for 2
definitely.
weeks.
The
yeah. No, the
slot.
surgeon
Yeah.
general is. It's probably too late, but he probably should have been at the top. But
Yeah,
but we'll just continue.
I think we'll say the warden.
Yeah, warden. I would say warden, radical, wife, married man.
Yeah, the
I feel
wife
confident with that.
and the married man. The secretary, the surgeon general, the warden, the radical, the wife, the married man. Is this your final answer?
It
Yeah.
is.
If you enjoyed this simulation, there are maybe more waiting for you. Yeah, I actually sent an email to this guy with the screenshot,
Uh huh.
um, and he got back to me. So he's making the next one.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah,
That's a
um,
weird way to deliver the goods, but okay.
yeah, yeah. I kind of wish that the game was willing to kind of share with
Yeah.
you its opinion a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I
Um,
agree.
but I do like the idea because it's done now. It's over now. Um, weird little game, but
No, that's cool though.
yeah, I think it's cool.
That's
I mean,
cool.
I would have been way more
Did
happy
it?
to read
Did it
that.
take? Yeah. Did it take? It, get any prizes?
It got
First
most
in
innovative.
innovation. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm not surprised. That's
That
good.
too in compelling narrative.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, it's and it's complicated, but in an interesting way. It would have
yeah,
been interesting if it had been more than one question. I would have
yeah,
liked it if we had at various times been asked to evaluate, but
Hmm.
yeah, I'm not going to argue with it. I
yep,
think that's really cool.
For a
yeah.
game
And
It's
jam
again,
entry,
1,000 times more than I would be able to manage. So I'm,
yeah,
all I can do is be impressed.
for a game
yeah,
jam entry, like a vertical slice, it's very much there, but like clearly we can see right where we'd want to expand it, and it's
right.
only
Yeah, and he
expanding on
knows
things
like,
that are there
and it's going to
already.
be easy to expand because he's got his sort of graphic world down. He knows
Yeah,
what he wants it to look like. He knows how he's going to show us the relationships between the characters
well,
and that kind of thing. Like the
and I thought it
mechanics
would,
no
yeah,
longer a problem.
and it was really effective. Like I
Yeah.
really
Right.
liked just the stripped down, like you knew
Yes.
who they were, the color coordinated characters, but the
Right.
backgrounds were cool. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
they got to have the detail because that's the fun, that's where you can have the
Hmm.
fun. The weird little like Confucius dude was like really creepy and cool. Death looked really cool. So yeah, I thought it was a really really cool game, and I would have been so happy to read that in a workshop.
Yeah.
Just
No, see exactly.
so
Even
happy.
just as a story, if
Yeah,
someone would just tell that story,
yeah,
right? Like here's a
hmm
story about characters who all have a lot at stake,
yeah,
and on whom does the like, on whom does the like does the blame fall most heavily? And
right,
it's a great question. Like that's what literature does, right?
right,
Sets up complicated questions, and then it says, so you think you would make a good judge?
Mm.
Here you go,
right,
right? What do you do with these people? Who's at fault, right?
right.
And there's never anything at stake, or very rarely in a graduate in the fiction in a graduate
Yeah,
workshop, right?
no,
Unless it's somebody who is explicitly working in genre against the will of everybody around them,
right.
right? So
Which is now what our program is
right, no,
people
no, I mean
in
that's
genre working.
exactly what we are. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're just we're outlaws, man.
Yeah,
No, if they knew what we were doing, they'd come for us. Luckily, we're still under the radar. It's not going to last forever, though.
no,
At some
not
point,
for.
we're going to. Okay, so sacrifices. And is there music or anything?
There is, yeah, but I can't show the
Can you
sound.
hum it?
It's just kind of like a whimsical.
Okay. Well, no, don't worry about it. I just want to hear it described.
Yeah.
I'm fine. I was on a podcast earlier today where we all sang Barbara Ann.
Oh yeah.
So music is a big part of my life right now, my broadcast life.
I see.
Okay, so
My
this is a first person,
yeah.
full 3D. Wow. Okay.
I
Is
like
this
it.
made in Unity? Do you know?
I think so. It looks Unity to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the lighting looks Unity. These shadows are
Yep.
pretty Unity lighting.
Hmm.
Yep.
That looks like Unity lighting.
The sensitivity of the first person camera feels very
Yeah.
Whoa.
Hey, okay,
Quit
real
paying.
quick. I like that it starts you off. You're looking at interesting things with the RVs. You have this like direction in front of you where there's stuff that way, right? It
Yep.
Yeah.
suggests go forward, and the notes, in other games that have like environmental storytelling or notes or things like that, you click on the note and then it blows it up in front of the screen. This is actually like legible, like in game. It
Yep.
doesn't break. Like you can just
Yeah,
walk up
right.
to
Yep.
it and read it. I really
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. I think this game actually would have been really cool in VR.
Yeah.
And you'll see why in a moment, but
Well, and it's low enough res it would run in VR
oh
no problem.
yeah. Come back when you
So
learn
if you're
something.
watching this, maker of this game, uh, create an APK that I can throw into my Quest.
Yep.
Hmm.
Uh,
So there's Stead Point, Throne, Village, and I think it said go to the throne first,
Hmm.
which is a nice
and
little
the
gesture.
throne is an outhouse. Goddamn great. I love.
I
That's a
like it.
very West Virginia sense of humor. I like that. What does that say? Oh, look at that thing. 10 meter.
Talking
Oh, my
crab
God, it's
is
talking to us.
fantastic.
So here comes the first kind of cool thing about this game.
Yeah.
Um, my brain forgets how to walk left. Can you still walk left? Oh yeah, I can walk left.
Okay.
I guess it's just me then.
That's so good.
I like his
Can
little
I?
animation. He's so
Yeah.
peppy.
Can I borrow that button you're using to walk left?
Okay.
We can only walk left and right after L. Oh, thank you so much. I'll let my friends know how nice you little humans are. Now I can't walk left anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the button doesn't work.
That is hilarious. It's like a fable, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
or
is totally.
Little Mermaid. I want him to go back in the ocean though. Like, don't take my left walk and then just sit there, you dope.
Yeah, so I can't walk.
He's goddamn lying to us
Yeah, liar.
just to
Trying
get
to-
our left. our ability to walk left.
Yep. Now I've lost this. This game won best use of ludic elements to tell a game story, I think.
Mhm.
Yep.
Oh. Psst. Boo.
Ah,
uh
okay. I like that they're all.
Whoa! That woke me up. I hear you, Spider. My dance isn't what it used to be either.
How about you lend me that button you're using?
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's like a fable or a
Mm-hmm.
folk,
Mhm.
Yeah,
right?
right.
Yeah, it's essentially a folk tale. We're going along and giving, and one anticipates that we'll meet somebody who can't back up, and
Right, right.
you know,
But then what the final twist is going to be, I'm very interested in. As we go along, giving pieces of
Oh my
ourselves
hell.
away.
1 second. Apparently there's a car or something and
oh,
Whoa.
has to bark. Oh, it went away.
it flew.
I have a feeling that might not have been intentional.
Now I can't walk right now.
So it's just forward and back. It's cool.
Well, as long as you can turn around, we're okay.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
You have to retain one axis of movement
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
ability to rotate.
Yeah, right.
If anybody wants our ability to rotate, then fuck them.
Yeah, then we're not giving that.
The animations have all been really simple but nice.
Yeah.
It's so effective. I think it would be really effective in VR.
Yeah, me too. I also think that this is kind of this is the type of game that I think would work for a kid, because there's a clear moral lesson
Right,
here.
right. No. It's the giving tree. You're the giving tree.
Yeah.
Right. And so you have to. The thing that I think would be really cool is if the puzzles, like if there were more puzzles in the game that you had to navigate, but they were all
Sure.
navigable no matter what you gave away. It would
Right.
become harder and harder.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, like mazes, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's as far as I can go over here. But yeah, I
And did
think
you
the game is. What's that?
Did you finish this one?
I couldn't finish it because I couldn't find all the animals.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, but oh yeah, okay, I can't go there. But yeah, I mean, this is basically it. Like you kind of walk around and talk to animals, and then they take your buttons away from you. And then I presume if you find them all, then you get a little blurb about like doing nice things for people, kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Well, you're supposed to go back to the
Hmm.
original cabin, right?
Yeah.
Worried about the mayor. I am never worried about any mayor.
How many
Whatever any
cows
mayor
have you met,
gets
Pinckney,
is
that are concerned about the mayor? Is this a common problem in cow society?
I think so.
well, cows are very, they're really into political hierarchy.
Okay, now a talking horse I can believe.
That's a bridge too far for Matt.
Yeah, no, the rest of this 100% legit. Oh, we call him the mayor. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oh.
Ah,
Been there, buddy.
I really love the text floating in the sky.
Yeah, and it's cool looking text too.
Yeah.
It kind of fits with the like cartoony, friendly
Yeah.
sort of feeling.
Right. Yep. Uh-oh. Okay,
I
so
couldn't
now
read
you
it.
have to negotiate this whole thing backward.
Oh. show me how. That doesn't necessarily
I'd
make
be
it better
happy to
again.
show you how, right? Yeah, exactly. But giving up my ability to move forward is a whole other.
Give you the button. I said I would show you how.
By giving him the button, obviously.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, I can't move forward anymore.
But did you do anything to actually give him the button?
No, it just takes it away in dialogue.
Sure.
Oh, okay. So you're not really choosing
Yeah,
No.
like the
to read any
choice
of it.
would
There's
make
no
this.
chance once you've met Mayor,
Yeah.
you're definitely giving away
Right.
forward movement no matter what you want to do.
Yeah, and I think that is something that this game could have done that would have been really cool
Right.
from like a morality standpoint, because it clearly wants to be like a little morality fable. Oh, there's
Yeah.
a dog.
Dog.
Well, how are you going to get near the dog? Hey, come over toward us, doggy. I really like that. That's
Yeah.
really cool. Oh, to hell with you.
You've got quite the reputation.
Thank you.
My human calls me a good dog, but you've definitely outdone me.
You, too, are a good dog.
Anyway, could I borrow that click?
No.
Yeah, you can have the click. It just means I can't talk to animals anymore, so they can't take my button. It'd be nice to be able. Well, I can go click on the door for you.
Let yourself in.
I can do it. What do you say? I say nay. Wow. It's like
It's
Dora.
like forced, like
Yeah.
the point of a gun.
Right. Wow, thank you. Anyway, you should head home. It's getting late.
Okay, so if you can get all the way back to the back to the cabin by walking backward, you'll be in good shape.
Luckily, I am an expert at walking backward.
See, but if it were in VR, you could kind of look over your shoulder.
That's true.
That would be cool.
And you could actually have a body and give away.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know what you would give away because it's not like your legs make you go forward and your arms make you go
Right.
left and right. But
Well, even just having like a little D-pad that you hold or something, and you give a piece of it away.
Yeah, that's true. Or you could tie the movement to buttons, right? So you could tie like the A button to. Oh, cool! I made it.
yeah,
You could tie the like A button to move forward, B button, and then you just slowly take those buttons away.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that giving it away should be optional. Oh, phew, there you are. Well, I can't click to talk anymore, so you got to do it.
oh, it's with an S. See, that explains this whole thing.
Oh, British?
Yeah, or British or learned English
Ah,
through the Brits. Yeah,
yep.
it's a very European sort of game.
Wait, what's he saying? Ah,
There we go.
And now you're in heaven, but you can't do anything but back up.
well,
Yep.
that was good. I
Well,
think.
no, I love that. It's got a good sense of humor. It's
Yeah.
really cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I
just a
just want
little
to see it
point
in.
at the end would be nice.
What's that?
A little like more point at the end. Like
Yeah.
if it's a
But I want, like, if it's a sacrifice, it like an unwilling sacrifice is not really.
A
I mean,
sacrifice.
there's no moral like quality to
Right.
to a dog that just comes up and goes, "Give me your ability to click." Ah! It's like, what a good person you are.
You okay, Dan?
I don't know why that was so funny. It's just so funny. Give her your belly a click. You're so nice.
Yeah, exactly. Like, hey, my master's gonna be able to get in the shitter now.
Yeah. Thank you. And yeah, because
Meanwhile, you're just screaming.
Right.
Hello.
please help me. But yeah, so I think that because the thing that would be really cool if this game does end up getting expanded would be like, so the player has a goal, and then they run into these animals along the way
Right.
that they can sacrifice to help,
Yeah.
and so it makes
That
their puzzles
makes it
harder.
harder to
Yeah,
get to your goal,
right.
right? And then what you find out is all along the goal was just a kind of, you
Hmm.
know, a fugazi, and really what was important was the trip where you gave everything away
Right.
that would have made getting to your goal simple.
Right. Well, and all these stories, like they all kind of just go back to like Job, right? Where it's like you're being tested on what you have, and you're having stuff taken away from you, right? And so you have to test your resolve in that way to be a good person. Like even when people are taking things away from you, you still have to be kind, you still have to be Christ-like, stuff like that. So like that's important, and I think that's a good lesson to try and distill into
Well,
a
right. I
video
mean,
game.
Job, at least as I understand it, I mean, Job is probably the oldest story in the Bible. Maybe
Yeah.
Cain and Abel is older.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a really ancient story.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, that's one of the first human stories.
Right. And the thing that always ends up being the case is like the sacrifices that you made were actually what made you stronger, right? And so that's the kind of thing that I think that this story could amplify so much.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, but you have to have your own goal, right? Because right
right.
now, it just says like, come back if you've learned something.
Right. Yeah.
And
Like,
and
well,
so
I'm learning all
working
the
off
time,
of
baby.
what's
That's my life.
here, your goal is to come back and get into the building, right? And so every button you're giving away impedes you from that goal. So I would like to see something pull you away from the cabin,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And you've got to
Yeah.
encounter all these animals on your way back.
Yeah.
And if
Right.
then you get a couple endings. If you don't give any buttons away, you get the quote unquote right bad ending where you just do it yourself. You don't learn anything. There's a middle ending where you give away any amount of buttons minus the maximum, right?
Right.
Where you're still able to get in yourself and you don't quite learn something, but you are a nice person. And the best ending, you gave away everything and then the dog shows up and lets you in.
Yeah, no, I think that's exactly what I was going for. Talking about like, because it would be really cool to like go to the mountain first, right? And then when you
Mm-hmm.
get to the top of the mountain, it's pretty hard to get up there. So you get up to the top of the mountain, and then there's like a little thing that you do up there,
Mm-hmm.
right? Ritual, whatever it is. And then on your way back, yeah, I think that would be
Yeah.
super duper cool. That'd be super duper cool. Anyway, I think we're at time, so we'll have just Planet Spectrum tomorrow. Um,
Next week, you
or
mean?
next week, yeah, not tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean,
Next week, and
good.
then
I like Planet Spectrum. Looks anime.
yeah, it is. It's very interesting.
And we can take a look at
Cool.
that one and we'll find something else to fill the time.
Yeah, and this one won't take us too long, I don't think,
Mm-hmm.
because the game is super long, so we'll just play like maybe 10, 15 minutes of it, and then we'll
Mm-hmm.
just dive into
Looks
it.
like another Unity game.
Yeah, yep. That's what it looks like to me too. It does some pretty cool stuff with perspective. It starts in first, and then it goes into third, and then you can swap perspectives and solve puzzles that way. It's kind of like it's a pretty interesting thing to do. Um, but yeah, I mean, as far as like a first jam jam, as far as a first game jam goes,
Oh,
it's
I'm
just
really impressed.
it's
Yeah,
super
no,
cool.
no, it's a really cool. Like I know, I'm.
Oh, and we need to do nanny cam. So the video, if you can commit that
Oh,
one,
that's right. Yeah, please remind me.
yeah,
And I meant to do that this week, but it's just been this insane week.
yeah,
Like I'm busier on sabbatical the day of giving. Like I've done so much stuff. Did I
yeah,
send you guys? I sent you the video
yeah.
for day
Yeah.
of giving.
I don't know if
Yeah,
that
That's
was the
cool.
final version, but it was a version.
yeah.
It's cool.
No, I doubt it was the final, but
Dylan,
yeah.
really,
Remind
that
me to do
quote.
that, and I'll get footage of Nanny Cam,
Cool.
and we can just play that footage, and you guys can see what you make of it.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that
Well,
gives us Nanny Cam, Planet Spectrum. Do we want to take some time next week then to talk about the next game jam and kind of get it kicked off?
yeah, definitely. And we
I
can
think
talk
we'll
about
do
it.
that.
Yeah, and we'll talk about it a little bit here now, just so
Mm-hmm.
everybody knows, like if
Right,
there's
yeah, because
anybody
we got a couple
watching.
minutes. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I think it'll probably get put up. It's got to get put up this week.
Oh
So,
wait, real quick, the Amalgam Ash is actually in the chat right now. They mentioned that it
oh,
wasn't made in Unity. It was made in a program called Smile Game Builder, so it's a very templated game engine.
ooh,
Really?
So
Okay, cool. No, I'm glad to hear that. It's called
I'm glad
Smile
they're
Gaming.
here and they could offer that information.
yeah,
Yeah, no,
I'll,
hey,
I'll look that up. I'll
yeah,
look that up right after this because,
yeah,
man, what I want to find is game engines that help me through.
yeah, hmm,
And
that's
that
what I
don't
want.
have that Unity learning curve.
Right,
So
the code
Smile
wall.
Game Engine because it looks great. It looks
it's a
I
cute
would
little
very
like
like
third
Unity.
person, and if that's easy enough to work, we can do a lot with a template.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep, absolutely.
Well, I mean, stories are come out of templates, right? I mean,
Mm,
we talk about Paulo Coelho, right? That there are two kinds of stories: a stranger comes to town, or someone goes on a quest,
yeah,
and
Yep,
those are just templates. And then there are different variations of those. But once you've made that decision, right, then there are other decisions that aren't available to you because you've chosen a template.
yeah,
yeah,
And then you see, okay, so what are quest templates, and what are horror story templates,
yeah,
and it's just a branching series of templates that help you make the right storytelling decision.
yep. And that suddenly just, I don't know why this put a thought in my mind, but so, okay, not this next game jam. God, I wanted to call it a jam jam again. Um,
Maybe
not,
we should. Maybe ours should be Jam
yeah,
Gams.
we
jam
can
jams.
patent that.
How cool we are.
So this next one will be detective story is the optional theme, right? But the one after this, I think I want to be the optional theme, or maybe the enforced theme to be monster, because then we could have Josh
Mm,
Woods on.
Right? No, no, no. That's exactly right. Yes, let's do detective story, but then the next one is going to be monster,
yeah,
and
Yeah,
we will get the monster professor on the show to help us play the games. And
yeah,
yeah, I think
and
that's
talk about
really,
monsters.
yeah, I love
That
that.
would be
really good
cool.
idea.
That would be
Yep.
so cool. But anyway, so yeah, I'm the game jam is the second one is going to be going up this week probably, and then there'll be a couple of days, and then we'll get going. I think we're the tentative start date is February 28th.
Okay.
I like that, and we can have it run for another 2 weeks, maybe.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what I had in there. I think it ended on the 24th, like finality done.
Yeah, I
Um,
think
so
more notice is better than a longer jam period.
yeah, maybe I'll ask, and but yeah, you're probably right in that sense. Just
Well, what was
knowing,
the pattern of submissions? Did they all come in at the end, or did
Pretty
we
much.
start?
yeah,
Yeah. Now, that makes sense, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
if you turn it in right at the beginning, and then you go, "Oh my God, I've still got 2 weeks, and I would really like to put this in."
right,
Yeah.
yeah,
So yeah,
And I'm not
yeah,
that
and
far away from my undergrad. I know that when there's a super lengthy deadline, no work gets done for the first
right.
11,
yeah,
12
Yeah. So we give
submit.
them a long time to do it, but we make the submission period fairly short.
Mm-hmm.
right, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's true. Cool. Yeah. So that's what we're
Well,
gonna do.
I'm really excited that. What is the creator's name? I'm looking for it, but I can't.
Oh, Amalgamash.
Amalgamash.
Uh, yeah, Amalgamash. Yeah, that's really cool. Thank you for coming to the stream, and I'm
Yeah,
I'm
for real.
sorry we didn't get to I'm
Yeah,
sorry we didn't get to Planet Spectrum today, but we'll definitely do it next week.
yeah. We'll definitely do it
Looking
next
forward
week.
to your story and what you were able to do with the template.
Yeah, but I'm gonna look up that Smile game engine
Yep.
uh,
It's
and
actually a
see what
good
it's like.
point.
'Cause like I say, I'm looking for anything like this that makes my life easier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's all I'm doing. It's like low code, no code. That's like the two
Mm-hmm.
most Googled words
Yeah,
Small
in my
game
yeah.
life.
builders on
No, no, no.
Steam.
And I thought we tried them all. I mean,
Right.
but we'll keep finding them. All
Yep.
right.
Cool.
Well, very good, gents.
Perfect.
This was a lot of fun. This was very entertaining. I
I
love this
love these.
game jam thing. Like,
I love these.
totally down with the game jam thing.
I think
Yeah.
next week's going to be cool. And I just remembered I'm writing the first chapter of my piece for my novel writing course, and it's a Twine narrative that is not going to be written in Twine. So it's going to be prose, but I can still have it so we can like play it. And it happens to
Cool.
be a detective story. So
Oh,
that's
cool.
actually due next Thursday. So I should have that for us on Wednesday.
Oh,
We
great,
can
good.
fill out the
Oh,
rest
yeah,
of the time with
yeah,
that.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be really
Yeah.
good.
No, I'd love to see that.
The disc jockey is also a detective story. He's a detective for
That's true.
drugs. He's trying to locate drugs.
I hope you do
Well,
more
that's,
with
I mean,
that. That
a
was so
lot of
fun.
detective work gets done when people want drugs. Like,
That's
I mean,
true.
if you want drugs, you are like a master of the telephone, a master of the midnight meeting, and the secret drop off and the undetectable handoff. Not,
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know why I know about that stuff, but
I don't know either.
but no, like
You were
the drug
obviously in the workers' union in West Virginia. That's what it is.
no, that's the drug detective is definitely a thing.
All right. Well, give me your button. Thank you. You're such a good
Yeah,
partner.
I'll only be able to back up. All right,
And see you next week.
Cool.
see you
Later.
next week. Bye bye.